Hey everybody, we're back with more classic Tomb Raider, finally. The return of Lara Croft. Well, that was quick. Just get into the game. We left off in the third level of Greece, the Palace of Midas, I'm pretty sure. Just Palace Midas. Remember that specifically because last time we did this, which was a while ago, made the point of dying on the hand of Midas to end the stream. Alright, what do we got? Yeah, everything looks okay. I want to make a point here. I lost the save data that we left off on. So to get back here, I used level skip cheats, because Tomb Raider was a game released with cheats, which is nice. Unfortunately, level skip doesn't give you the weapons you would have picked up, so we would have picked this up, the shotgun, in the third level. But the level skip completely skipped it, so I entered the weapons cheat to get it, and that's why we also have the magnums and the Uzis. It's not going to matter much, we're not here for the combat. More often than not, I stick with the pistols anyway because of the infinite ammo. Alright, that works out. Let's see what we got. Looks like a passageway. No, that's going to be too high. What about over here, though? Oh, I forgot how dark this game will go sometimes. You know, if there's one thing I really want to commend Tomb Raider 2 with, it's adding the ability to spin around in mid-air. Ooh, medpack. Alright. It's also worth noting that we lost all the healing items that I picked up on the previous save. What does this switch do? Okay, so it's opened the garden, I guess. I always call it the garden, just because there's... Just because there is greenery there. Hey, Nezradol. Welcome to the stream, buddy. It is a good old classic. That it is. It's been a long time since I've gone all the way through, which is the point of this stream. But definitely rediscovering why this is my preferred Tomb Raider. Come on. Oh, that could be a pain. I don't get who thought adding more combat in Tomb Raider 2 thought it would be a good idea. I don't get why they thought that. A little too high. Anything? No. Other side? No. Alright, back to exploring. I love the sense of exploration and somewhat more open-ended design of the levels of classic Tomb Raider. Especially, oh crap, crocodile. Especially compared to Tomb Raider since Crystal Dynamics took over. Like, Legend is a fine enough game, but all of their games are really less about exploration. That's just a texture. Alright. Legend and Onward are basically entirely different games. Now, I've said before that this is kind of the 3D evolution of the old cinematic platformers like Prince of Persia and Flashback. And it's interesting to see that Tomb Raider Legend and Onward, because like Prince of Persia took influence from Tomb Raider when it moved to 3D with Prince of Persia 3D. For better or worse, honestly depends on how you feel about that game. But it's interesting to see that when Prince of Persia really found its footing with The Sands of Time, that Tomb Raider would later copy that with Tomb Raider Legend and Onward. Not that it was the only game to do so. Less health than I'd like, but I don't want to use a big medkit right now. Nothing there. Hey, dude. I can probably make this jump. I totally made that jump. Can I make this jump? Nice. Nothing there. I like the old square design of the old games. Probably just because of nostalgia. I can make that without running. Plus, the slower pace is always nice for a nice casual stream. Just some chill classic Tomb Raider. Alright. 5 switches. I hope one of them did something. Hey, Ninja. How you doing, buddy? To be fair, is it really a chrono stream if the characters aren't running into walls? Okay, so that gate's open. Hopefully I can figure out what those 5 switches did. That didn't open. That's good work, Ninja. I'm proud of you. You know, you say that, I feel like I've gotten better at not running into walls that much lately. Okay, so there's a door, there's a door, there's a door over here. There's a door over here. That gives us 3 doors. 4 doors. Yeah, but I still ran into a bunch of mistakes with the interface, though. So I'm seeing 4 doors. Is there a 5th? Chances are those switches refer to the doors in some way. Yeah, the theoretical walls. It's like whenever I play Resident Evil, I usually spend at least 5 seconds running into a wall. Imagine the times I could get if I managed to stop that. Okay, that didn't open. That's not opened. But that one. No. What am I doing here? Yeah, apparently in half an hour. I actually meant to start this stream like an hour or so before I actually did. I ran into problems with my software, which was just really fun. Gotta be some kind of indication of this somewhere. So we'll probably go over this later when we did when we do the evening stream where most people turn up. But what were your thoughts on the PS5 showcase yesterday, Ninja? Yeah, unexpected problems are always so much fun. The Elgato software being a pain. Restarting my computer fixed the problem for some reason, thankfully. I just love PS1 texture warping, because the PS1 couldn't actually render pixels that well in a 3D space. Alright, nothing there. Yeah, I'm not gonna pick up PS5 anytime soon. Especially with the announcement that they're planning to make the games they're planning to make the games £70 in the UK. $70 in the US, £70 in the UK. That doesn't work out. I mean, I posted the currency exchange figures in the Discord, and it's like that works out to us basically paying $90 per game. And you know what? I decided a while back I wasn't going to pay that for a collector's edition. Why should I be playing that? Why should I be paying that for a standard game? Oh shit. Well, I'm using that medkit now. That went horribly. EA's actually kind of... I think they've held off on announcing what the pricing is going to be for the next generation. Plus, the rumoured remastered trilogy isn't rumoured for next gen. It's only rumoured for current gen and probably will work as backwards compatible. Hmm. It's not even just that RE2 makers consider the better game. There's a bunch of examples like that with the PS Plus collection of older games over newer ones for some reason. Like Monster Hunter World being put on there. It's Monster Hunter World, not Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Which harkens back in the same way to the issue with this month's PS Plus games. One of which being Street Fighter V. The base version of Street Fighter V. I'll probably pick up Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition in like 4 years. I'm just glad they've said they're going to put Virgil on current gen. When it comes down to it, Turbo Mode and Legendary Dark Knight, I can leave. I'm not overly bothered. I'm glad Virgil seems to be getting his own music track. The main concern I have with that at the minute is they've announced the special edition is going to be available at launch of next gen, and the Virgil DLC for current gen will launch at a later date. I just want to know what that date is. The pricing for that DLC is also surprisingly good. Well, that's the thing, like, the pricing of the Virgil DLC being that cheap, it was like, what, $5? Like, yeah, sure, I'll buy that. I'll pay that to play as Virgil. Especially with new battle music. But beyond that, like, everything else the special edition's supposed to have, I don't really care either. Legendary Dark Knight mode was a cool idea when Devil May Cry 4 did it, but ultimately I never ended up bothering with it. What do you mean by that, Ninja? Where you could play 5 characters. Same campaign. It's probably going to work out that way. I was thinking more like 3 special edition over 4. I doubt they're going to change the campaign. The main question becomes, how are they handling Virgil as a playable character with that? Because like Devil May Cry 4 had him do the campaign entirely on his own. Devil May Cry 5's campaign goes through 3 different characters. Yeah. I feel like the best way to do that would be to have introduce the option to play any level with any character after you complete the game. I mean, you can argue, but what about bosses? But the boss option is already there with Bloody Palace. Bloody Palace has you fight all the bosses with any of the characters you choose. None of them have specific abilities that couldn't be replicated. Like, oh, what about Nero's Snatch ability being used for traversal? V could do that. You could have it work out the exact same way. I'd say you could make something up to have him do that. End of the day, when they brought Virgil into DMC4 to make him do that, he just teleported anyway. I feel like we're going back to the doors. I want to know what the doors are doing. That's a fair point. TGS should be really soon. The RE8 trailer felt really weird. It explained nothing new. Introduced nothing new. If anything, the so-called werewolf and vampire monsters look more like zombies now. Which, if anything, kind of killed some of the enthusiasm. Everyone else they'll be there, yeah. I wonder what Capcom's even got aside from RE8 to announce. It's going to be way too soon for a potential Devil May Cry 6. Maybe a new expansion for Monster Hunter World? Yeah, the trailer felt kind of pointless. Definitely agree with that. Either that or they should let Kamiya make that game he wanted to... that he said he'd wanted to make, the Sparta story. Or just actually do the Bayonetta Dante crossover that he wanted. With Devil May Cry 5 supposed, like, intended to be the end of the Sons of Sparta storyline. A fun non-canon idea, like Dante meets Bayonetta, would be pretty cool. Like, just specifically have it, like, really non-canon. So you can have whatever show up. The Sparta story would be pretty cool. Still nothing. Yeah, they've always been very deliberately vague with Sparta. I mean, you could argue that with a potential Devil May Cry 6 moving away from the Sons of Sparta, the big thing that gives them room for is to finally move away from Sparta as a whole. Because with the exception of Devil May Cry 5, every Devil May Cry game has been deeply rooted in Sparta. Devil May Cry 1, Sparta defeated Mundus. And now Mundus is coming back. Devil May Cry 2, Sparta once sealed away Argasax, and now Argasax is going to be released by Arius. Devil May Cry 3, Sparta sealed away the Temin Nigru. And now Virgil's intending to unseal it to claim the power of Sparta. Devil May Cry 4, Sparta saved a town or something once, and they devoted a religion around that. You're not wrong. I mean, that's one of the funnier parts about that. You're really not wrong. And in the end, I think Dante says, nah, it's fine. I already know what he did. But, like, with the exception of 5, the entire main series has all been about Sparta. And what Sparta accomplished. Deliberately nailing that down does sound like a very risky idea. Damn it. I think that's specifically because it was intended to be the end of the Sons of Sparta storyline. I mean, there are parts of Devil May Cry 4 that feel like they were apologising for Nero being the main character. I mean, hell, Dante's entire involvement. Dante's playability. Oh yeah, I'm fine with Nero. And if they want to bring back some of the other characters like Lucia, that'd be pretty neat. Maybe kind of elaborate on what Trish is actually going to do now. Okay, let's see. She's gonna do Trish stuff. Alright, what do we got? What do we got? That characterization of Dante basically just went away after Devil May Cry 1, and it really disappoints me. Dante is the cocky badass who knew when to get serious. And then as the series went on, it was just Dante is a cocky badass who, even when things get serious, is still just really cocky. I would have thought Devil May Cry 5 would change some of that with how serious the stakes seem to be there. Along with the fact that he straight up gets his ass kicked. Like, story-wise, if there's one thing I want to complain about with Devil May Cry 5, it was Dante's characterization. In some places, it felt like he'd gone back to his characterization from DMC 3. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm just wandering around now. That's fair enough, Ninja. I mean, if we want to get really into it, we're going to have to be doing it while we're playing the game, so that it's not spoiled for anybody who hasn't played it yet. So you're going to pick up Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster, so that you can play as Dante? You know, as the hardcore Devil May Cry fan that you are. I do intend to play it, yeah. Look question with that, though, really does become, am I gonna play as Dansei? Am I gonna have the Dansei mode, or am I gonna have the Raido Kuzunoa mode? Because they're exclusive, you can't have both at once. You choose one or the other. That's right, featuring Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. I'm lost at this point. I have no idea what I'm doing. If I don't give a shit. Starting to look that way, Ninja. But yeah, as far as Nocturne goes, the whole way it went was the original release in Japan didn't have Dansei. The release that was released in the West that does have Dansei was the director's cut. And they worked it out with Atlas. They get to use Dansei. Atlas worked it out with Capcom. They get to use Dansei in the game, and Kazumi Kaneko, the scenario writer and character and demon designer, the Shin Megami Tensei, would design the devil triggers for Virgil and Dante in DMC3. And that's the version we got in the West. Later on, when Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner 2 Raido Kuzunoa vs. King Abaddon was released in Japan, it got a special edition that came with another release of Nocturne that replaced Dansei with Raido Kuzunoa. Which specifically fits the themes anyway. But it also made Raido more useful a character than Dansei was. Generally, Dansei in the original release of Nocturne that we got, it's known as the Maniacs version in Japan. Generally, he's not worth the effort it takes to get him. And the remaster is intending to fix that by giving him the Pierce ability. Which is good, it'll make him way more useful in combat. I'm curious about who they're going to get to voice him in English. It's like, it's the Devil May Cry 2 design, but explicitly written with the Devil May Cry 1 personality. My big hope for it would be that they'd get Drew Combs back for it. It is probably going to be... It is probably going to be Ruben Langdon. Which is kind of a shame. Not that Ruben Langdon's bad, I just feel like the personality was written specifically around Drew Combs' portrayal of Dante. My job's hunting devils. That's the fun thing about Nocturne, you are the devils. There's always the future, you never know what'll happen. I mean, let's not forget that Funimation, with the dub of Dragon Ball Super, did the really cool thing of bringing Brian Drummond back to voice Copy Vegeta. Brian Drummond previously voiced Vegeta in the Ocean dub. It was a really neat thing. Watching the Ocean dub was always really weird with Vegeta, because Brian Drummond really voiced him with an explicitly evil voice that he kept as Vegeta became a good guy. Which was really weird. It wasn't bad, it was just weird. That's the thing, like, Chris Sabat always voiced Vegeta as kind of gruff. And it's a voice that can go good or evil, it has no real distinction. Probably helped by the fact that when Funimation got around to doing Dragon Ball Z, it had already finished and everyone knew Vegeta became a good guy. I'm not entirely sure when exactly Ocean dubbed Z. But it's entirely possible that they didn't know that Vegeta was going to become a good guy. I want to hear more of this new music track that Virgil's got for his battle theme in DMC5. I feel like we've been everywhere and accomplished nothing. Well, it sounded better than Subhuman. And more distinctive than whatever V's battle theme was. I've not got a hard on for Virgil. I just like the idea of playing as a different character with it. And I did really like how Virgil played in DMC4 Special Edition. He was very fast-paced and fluid, and it felt like they'd really fixed the problems with him from 3 Special Edition, which was really nice. Hopefully this time they won't just give him the same moveset again. I wasn't fond of Subhuman when they debuted it, and I wasn't fond of it in-game. The first time I beat Devil May Cry 5, I used the normal music tracks. But after beating it, I changed V's music track and Dante's. So Dante's battle theme is now Devil's Never Cry from DMC3, and V's is Ultraviolet from DMC1. Alright, what are these? These anything? No. It's not so much that I had a problem with these, it's just I never noticed these. Yeah. It's definitely a problem with switching the music tracks as well. Like, you get into a battle with Dante, And Devil's Never Cry has a fairly long build-up. By the time it really gets going in when you use it in Devil May Cry 5, the battle's done. I feel like we've accomplished nothing with this. And these doors are bothering me. I always hate when a game gets like this, where you're just wandering through the same areas trying to figure out what you're doing. I don't have any explosives, ninja. I don't think explosive weapons were introduced until Legend, maybe. With grenades that were always kind of shit. Yeah, I should go back and do more of the history of stylish action idea, so we can get to DMC5. Possibly also actually do a playthrough of DMC4 with Virgil. Like, all the way. I'm probably never going to get around to the playthrough of 4 with Lady and Trish, though. Yeah. You see, the main reason I'd actually get to Virgil would be just if I was doing it for the stream. Like, start it for the stream, end it for the stream. When it comes to Lady and Trish, I'm not into how Lady plays. It's kind of the awkward thing with V, but worse. Of like, it's an action game where the focus has always been on being up close with melee, where you need to be at range. But V had ways of dealing with that, Lady really doesn't. Something... Can I get up there? Yeah. In the end, I'm glad they didn't make you fight that many bosses with V. That would have been a pain. Yeah, that was really irritating. I never understand why companies put levels like that in games like that. It's like if they did imagine if they did the same thing with Dante. And it's like, how could they do that with Dante without making it complete shit like they did with V? I don't think there's anything here. Yeah, the levels that gives you an option of which one to choose. That in itself may have been part of the problem. You never need to learn how to play V. But it is a very precarious situation where forcing the players to learn how to play V with a section that is actually pretty difficult could break the entire game and leave you not wanting to play further. Keep going around the same areas and I have no idea what I'm doing. God, I remember the stream I did of 4 that was a complete mess. Because it demanded you defeat bosses, some of the bosses in very specific ways. That final bit of the final boss was ridiculous with that. Demanding you beat it in a specific way. Which I think previously had only been done with the first game. It's one of those things of, it's pretty common in Let's Plays and streams to see that the player doesn't, like, has real trouble retaining the sense of direction. It's never really happened with me, but it happens with a lot of other people. Oh wow, this is weird. It's probably also helped in my case, Ninja, by the fact that I played the game recently on the stream. Either that or just knowing that what was about to come up was the Gloria cutscene and knew you were going the wrong way from that. Well, that was weird. I realised when I jumped, like, oh my god, I've made a mistake, and I landed on the hand, and didn't die. I want to pick up Devil May Cry 3 on Switch, so I can stream it with the freestyle system and choosing any weapons. I just don't want to pay the price for it. I have been debating doing another stream of 3, though. I enjoyed that, and I feel like I could do better. And maybe not do, like, the second and third thirds in one stream. Well, the real issue with Devil May Cry 3, there was a genuine sense of accomplishment in some of the places. Like, Virgil 1, I did it in one go. Virgil 2, refusing to use any gold orbs, and then succeeding in winning the fight after a couple of tries, that felt good. But like, with how long I was streaming for that entire thing, when we got to the final Virgil fight, and I was just tired and wanted it to end, so I used the gold orb. I think I used 2 gold orbs in that fight. I wasn't overly happy with that, honestly. If I'm gonna lose, fine. Losing is a part of video games. You're gonna die, you're gonna get the game overs. I wanted to do it without using the gold orbs, though. The final fight is good. Like, the real concern I had was the fight with Arkham. Because, like, once Virgil turns up, that fight gets bullshit. And also the fact that I didn't have the Kalina unequipped, which was not a good idea. The Urizen fight is just unreasonable, I feel. Like, the first fight is designed to be unwinnable, and if you do win it, you get a bonus ending that's not worth it, honestly. But then you go back with Nero and then Dante, and it just feels unreasonable. The idea of with the Sin Devil trigger. It's like, oh, here's this brand new Devil trigger that changes up a good amount of your moveset. And now we're going to throw you into one of the trickiest boss fights in the series. Hope you know how to use this. I didn't like that. Good work on beating it, though. I remember my first playthrough of Devil May Cry 5, I didn't end up... It was one of the things, like, despite the trickiness of the Urizen fights, I didn't end up using a gold orb, and just in general dying. I didn't end up dying until mission 19? The penultimate mission, the Dante versus spoiler warning. Just, what am I doing, and what are those switches about? It's a fight I want to redo at some point. Like, really get to the nitty gritty with it. We've been wandering now for over 25 minutes. And we've accomplished nothing. Really more of a case of, like, I've been really debating quitting this. And chatting with you is the main thing that's keeping me distracted from that idea. I come back to this, maybe look up a guide at some point off stream. Yeah, fuck it. Alright, what do we got? Because I went over my, the list of stuff I have on the PS Classic a little while back. want to do Power Slave at some point. Released in the UK as Exhumed. I actually do have this. And I've heard it's really good, and I've just never really played it. Alright, for you, Ninja, and because I know Bane is here. Alright, let me switch some of this stuff then. Yeah, we don't like a lot of things, Bane. Yeah, I saw him lurking. I didn't want to do this without him.
The reason I've called you here today is to explain why a state of general emergency has been called by the Woolly military. As you may already know, a great catastrophe has befallen us that threatens to destroy our very woolly way of life. Bubsy Bobcat! Bubsy Bobcat is on Rayon! We'll all be bopped! Settle down! Settle down!
Yeah, call it what you want, Bane.
No one's going to be bopped on my watch! How could this have happened? Well, that's a bit of a long story, but here's the abridged version, approved for public dispersal by their Royal Highnesses, Queens Polly and Esther. Our magnificent queens devised an ingenious plan to steal all the wool balls of Earth, but they were foiled by the fiendish Bubsy Bobcat. Now, our queens have developed an even more ingenious, if such a thing is possible, invasion plan. Unfortunately, they needed to get the furball out of the picture!
Yeah, I'm okay, Bane. How you doing?
Woolly commandos were sent to Earth. There, they fought bravely and captured the hideous beast! Due in no small part to my brilliant...
Enjoy the moments.
On the return trip, due to a slight technical difficulty, the rocket carrying the beast crashed and the Bobcat escaped! Woohoo! Now, if you see the Bobcat, do not, I repeat, do not approach it! It can be extremely dangerous when frightened by the average woolly!
Yep, this work then.
Report its whereabouts immediately to the nearest woolly soldier. We have stationed nose blowers and rock throwers throughout the area around the crash site. We anticipate having recaptured the creature in 2 shakes of a dogfish's tail. Any questions? What does it want? What did we ever do to it? We have our best people in woolly intelligence working on that right now. So far, all we know is that the creature's plan somehow revolves around collecting atoms and rockets. What it plans to do with these useless yet abundant natural resources, we have no idea. Our best scientists have been stumped by that very question for decades, and all they've come up with so far is a spacecraft capable of interstellar travel. Why would this interest the furry fiend? Oh, again, we have no idea. Now then, I advise all citizens to remain in their homes until further notice. This meeting is... I knew I should have taken that left turn at Uranus! Was it something I said? What could possibly go wrong?
This came out in 96. After Crash Bandicoot. Came out in 96 after Crash Bandicoot and Super Mario 64. This was the first game I ever played that I just knew was bad. Hey, Chansum. Yeah, this was the first game I ever played that I knew was bad. And it's worth noting that, it's worth noting that I grew up with stuff like Batman Forever on Super Nintendo, and I enjoyed that as a kid, kind of, probably because it was Batman. This was the first game I played that I knew was bad. Alright, so let's get a look at it. I hope you like cat puns. It's worth noting this is a 3D platform with tank controls.
So, you wanna be a video game star? For starters, grab all the items you see. There's plenty of them in each level. And if you get enough of them, you'll be in for some surprises.
You know, I've not played this in so long, I forgot how bad the movement is. Okay, so the single biggest problem with this is that there is momentum. It's like, okay, so I'm gonna move forward, and I'm gonna let go of the forward button now. See, the thing with Resident Evil is the game was always designed around the tank controls. The tank controls were a concession of the game. You gotta love how almost everything isn't textured as well. Like, even Bubsy isn't really textured, he's just single colour polygons. With a weird texture base.
Now, what would a platform game be without platforms? I wonder if there's any extra lives up there.
Okay, let's be careful about... No, there it is. Oh. The movement doesn't seem to match up with the animations either. Like, look at the walking backwards animation versus like how we're moving, and it doesn't feel connected. Okay. Try and land on this. So it's worth noting with Bubsy that Bubsy was a completely forgettable mascot platformer on the 16-bit systems.
Dynamite!
Do the Bubsy moonwalk. You've been hit by, you've been struck by bad game design. Well, that's the thing. They're mediocre. They're not great. They're not awful. They'd be completely forgotten alongside stuff like...
You lose a Bubsy, you'll start over here instead of at the beginning of the level. Ain't life grand?
Yeah. They'd be forgotten along with stuff like Aero the Acrobat or Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel, which are fine mascot platformers but got buried under the massive tidal wave of mascot platformers. And Bubs is kind of weird in that it got more games than it really deserved.
See that thing in front of you? That's a switch. Just run into it to make something cool happen.
Like, Bubsy never deserved a sequel.
Oh, this is my favorite part. Hold the square button when you walk up to an atom. Go ahead, try it, but don't hold it too long.
I forgot about that mechanic. Yeah, Bubsy would be completely forgotten if it wasn't for this. And it's weird how many games Bubsy got, because there was Bubsy 2, I think there was a handheld version. There was a Jaguar exclusive game that's completely original. It's not a port of other Bubsy games. When it comes down to it with... Because I played Bubsy 1 as a kid, and I thought it was alright. But you go back to it...
Come on, don't be shy. Step right up and win valuable prizes. Shoot the woolly with the atom.
When it comes down to it, Bubsy 1, the big problem with its design is two problems. The fact that you die in one hit, and there's nothing you can do to negate that, and for some reason, in every version, in every way I've played it, actually playing it on the system, playing it emulated, like no matter how I play the game, for some reason the jump physics are always really weird, and they push you to the right in midair. Without those two problems, it probably wouldn't be that bad. Again, just another forgettable platform, a mascot platformer. I mean, there's also the fact that for some reason there's fall damage as well, that doesn't help. But then this happened. Yeah, I've not really heard much about the Jaguar version. Probably because not many people have played it. It doesn't surprise me that it's considered the best. Probably for the same reason I've argued that Sonic CD is probably considered the best classic Sonic game by a lot of people. Or was for a long time. And I feel like that's probably because a lot of people just never got to play it. What the fuck just happened? Yeah, not many people had an Atari Jaguar, that's why I think people might say it's the best one.
A rocket! Find 31 more of these, and we're like yesterday's clams. Chowder here. Well, let's go get the other one. There's 2 on every level, you know.
Okay. I've said the same thing about Sonic CD. It's possible a lot of people may consider it to be the best, because less people have played it, and so it kind of had a legendary reputation. It's a similar thing with Knuckles Chaotix. Knuckles Chaotix has kind of a legendary reputation, because not a lot of people had the opportunity to play it, because it was only available on the 32X, and was never re-released on anything else. Like, it's not even in the Sonic Gems collection, which is weird, because Sonic the Fighters and Sonic R are in the Gems collection. And so Knuckles Chaotix has a reputation as being like an unknown classic. But then you actually play it like I did during the Sonic Marathon, and it's kind of shit. This plays bad, like honestly.
Hey, once I grab his power up,
Bobsy Smash Puny Wallies.
first come, first serve.
It is so hard to go in a straight line. This is bad chance, and don't play it. What's that, Ninja? Well, Tomb Raider controlled fairly well. Again, Tomb Raider had tank controls. And was a 3D design. But it was all about slow, methodical movement. Whereas this could really benefit from that. The movement's too fast and the controls are not suitable for it. And like the turning. And like I said, look at how many of these...
Rockets, there's nothing keeping me on this level anymore. Let's blow this popsicle stand.
Look at how much of this is just untextured polygons. This was 96. This is the same year Tomb Raider came out. This is the same year Crash Bandicoot came out. Like, let's not talk about Super Mario 64 because it was a different system. Resident Evil came out this year. Tomb Raider, Crash Bandicoot. Like, this is a mess. See, that's the thing with Crash on PS1. Crash on PS1 always played well. Even using the D-pad, because Crash on PS1 doesn't support the analog stick. Using the D-pad works fine. It was built for it and it works. Alright, you know what we'll do? Because I happen to know the password for the last level. Why is it so hard to move to the next character? Like super light touches? So let's take a look at what this game ends with. That's interesting. I know it's supposed to be all Z's. It's the only reason I know this password, because it's all Z's. Let me look into this. It's weird, because I know all Z's are supposed to be the password for the last level. It became a joke. So I'm looking at it now and I can't find the all Z's as a password. Alright then. We'll go with this one then. Also, why are the letters all just randomized? V L C H TMSB. XMVL CH TMSB. Well, that didn't work. I feel like we've seen enough of this now. So you guys were seeing Bubsy 3D. We're never going to play it again because it's terrible. Let me change this to retro. Fine. Yeah, Bane and Ninja have been asking for that for ages. We could have been playing Chrono Trigger instead. We're just instigating. Well, you see where your instigations led us? Did you know Ironhander was never released in this country? I used to really enjoy Ironhander as a kid. It may have been the first shmup I ever had. We need to take a look at Fear Effect one day. Fear Effect's best known for the second game, which was a prequel, having a lesbian scene. Which I've seen and really isn't a lesbian scene. But that's the only reason most people know about it. I know about it because both games are 4 discs, and they're 4 discs because they are pre-rendered. Yo, let's take a quick look at this actually, so we can show you why it's on 4 discs.
Death, the thing we fear most, But my only fear was what would happen if I remained alive.
Yeah, whatever. The year 2000, when the things you would resort to try and find something to get off to. Like the rise of the internet and just the prevalence of easily accessible titillation on the internet
In another time.
makes it really weird when a
Mercenaries
game
were coming
comes
from
out
the west.
explicitly
Told of
promoting
my
itself with fan
disappearance by a
service.
man, a betrayer who worked for my father. I had become a commodity that would be redeemed for cash.
It's very cyberpunk. Like, here you go, you can now see why this is 4 discs. I'll give you a couple of scenes, a couple of screens that try and figure that out. The controls on this are weird. It's very cyberpunk. The setting is a lot like Blade Runner. One day I'll figure out how to actually play this game. Well, this was 2000. This was 4 years after Bubsy 3D. Have you figured out why this game takes 4 discs yet? Now, what do you mean by that, Ninja?
Huh?
Yep. The backgrounds are pre-rendered in a similar fashion to how the Final Fantasies or Resident Evils worked. The difference is they're not pre-rendered images, they're FMVs. Every background is a looped FMV. And it's the same with Fear Effect 2, it's why both games are 4 discs. Although, interesting that it has a subtitle option for a game released in 2000.
Hong Kong, a familiar place.
That
in
even
another
works in
time.
the
Mercenaries were coming
FMVs.
from
That
the
is
west.
impressive for the
Told of
time.
my disappearance by a man, a
I know games that
betrayer
came
who
out years
worked for
after
my
this that
father.
didn't have subtitles.
I had become a commodity that would be redeemed for cash.
So, you trust him?
Jin's reliable.
Yeah? How do you know?
He helped me get off the streets years back, before he threw in with the triad. He's always got an angle, but I'd say he's a friend.
When you're talking about this kind of money, you can lose friends in a hurry. And once we find the girl, we are
It's got the
talking
usual
about
PS1
this kind
issues
of
of
money,
3D
right,
space.
Gleaming Lamb is the daughter
But the
of
style
most
is pretty
powerful
neat.
triad leader in Hong Kong. Don't worry, Glass.
And this would have been
He reaches
before the
for
big
runaway
boom of
first,
popularity of
then we'll
anime
get
in the West.
handsomely to get her back.
Of course, he'll want us dead as well.
The faces do look hilarious, but with them
There, that's
being
it. The lamb
preset
bacon.
textures, they have a lot more emotion and movement in the faces than you would have normally expected for a PS1 game.
I've got 11 o'clock straight up.
Jin said he'd be on the pad.
So much for Jin being reliable.
I'll go find him.
Yeah, this is neat. How playable it is a question, but this is visually pretty cool. Well, you can play this ninja, it's available on PSN. Both this and the second game. The camera angles, I feel, aren't that great, though, and the sense of depth is kind of a problem. You're thinking of something else. This was called Fear Effects in the US. Parasite Eve also never actually released in Europe. I should do Parasite Eve for a stream one day. Depending on how fast we finish Silent Hill 2. Maybe we'll do that for Halloween. It's supposed to be shorter. Gonna admit that feels like a bullshit death. Alright, what else we got that we can take a quick look at? It's not even that, like, we can take shots, but if we get shot on the ladder, then we die. You want to see the opening of Legend of Dragoon? That's a game I need to get focused on actually doing. You know, I always hate it when an alphabetized system counts the as the beginning of the word. Alright. I don't think I've ever seen this. Everybody put your hands together for one of Bane's favourite childhood classics. A game where my interest in it exists solely from Bane's recommendation. Bane says he's got an ad midstream. Yeah, Bane requested it. I want to get around to it, and my interest in it is solely from Bane's recommendation. Yeah, have you guys heard about Twitch's new ad thing where you don't get any warning about it? Like, Bane says he's got an ad. If it's one of the new ones they've got, it's a picture-in-picture ad that mutes the stream. And streamers have no idea about it. Are you back yet, Bane? Is the ad ending for you? Yeah, any moment. No warning. And no way for the streamer to know. And the only way for the streamer to kind of deal with it is to roll their own ads. If you roll a 90-second ad, it gets rid of all ads on the stream for the next 30 minutes. Which, that's going to kill the interest in anybody watching streams like this. Was it a picture-in-picture ad, Bane, that muted the stream? I heard it was a thing that Twitch was testing on some streams. I was hoping it would never actually come around to my stream and would just die out because of outrage. Did the stream screen shrink and come in the bottom right and then was muted while the ad played? Yeah, it's one of Twitch's new ad things. Yeah, so the best way I can deal with that to try and make it so you guys don't see ads like that is to run ads manually myself, like every half hour. This game is available on the US PSN if anybody's interested in picking it up. I do have it on PS3 because of that. I grabbed it off the US PSN. With that kind of recommendation, I should get around to playing it. Well, the thing becomes with that chance, like, I don't want to be running ads in the middle of the stream because it kills the momentum. It's like, oh yeah, no, here we go, guys. I'm gonna run a 90-second ad. Go and grab a drink or something. Every half hour. I mean, in all fairness, when I do the be right back stuff, I should probably run an ad then. That wouldn't be a bad idea. But beyond that, I don't do be right back every stream. No, it's worse than that, Ninja. I have to interrupt your enjoyment of the stream so that you're not going to miss out on the stream. You always get the good quotes, Bane. Here's another non-Final Fantasy RPG that I want to play. They have the remake of this on PSP, actually. Pretty much, like, I'll be talking about whatever, and then whatever happens cuts out so you can watch an ad. I don't know that's happened. You know what? I'm gonna move it up on the timetable, Bane. My intention was like, that was fucking weird. This is Valkyrie profile. Yeah, my intention was, like, we finished Twilight Princess and Arkham City. We do Code Veronica and DDS 2. And Silent Hill 2 in October. And after that, I was thinking of doing Trails in the Sky. But we can swap that out and, if I remember, do Legend of Dragoon instead. What else do we got? Interesting, lesser known stuff. Yeah, it looked pretty neat. It sounded neat. My only thing with it was like, what's with that one dude picking up the unconscious or possibly dead chick and kissing her and then looking at the camera? Like, that got weirder the longer it happened. Lunar Silver Star story complete. This game's interesting. It's a remake of an RPG for the Sega CD.
magical thoughts. All things are real unless you dream they're not. In your dreams, love is the plot, carried on wings of hope. Each of our souls intertwine when we do. Instantly we see it, the time to grow and be it, when everything is pinned on a hope. Let rise the dreams of your heart, that innocent youth, careless and kind, free to roam the breeze in love, only when two brilliantly shine as
I started playing this at one point, Chansum, and it was pretty decent, and I stopped playing it only because of the reason I stopped playing everything, because my attention span is garbage. This probably isn't the best game to hold up as an example of the PS1 era, Bane, largely because, like I say, it's a remake of a Sega CD game. Same with the sequel, Lunar Eternal Blue. Lunar Eternal Blue Complete is a remake of Lunar 2 Eternal Blue on Sega CD. Did the Americanization of Persona 1 get an opening? I'd love to play the PS1 version of Persona 1, but no one's going to fan translate it because this and the PSP version exists. Oh, I definitely agree with that, Bane. The fact there was a loading screen for the logo bothers me. Wait a minute, is that supposed to be the main character? Because the PS1 version released in the West changed the appearance of the main character so he doesn't have black hair for one. Because they were trying to cover up the fact this is a Japanese game. This feels kind of like low-key Silent Hill opening. Alright, Bane. Revelations series. This was Atlus's first attempt in bringing the Shin Megami Tensei series to the West. And they decided to rename the name. They decided to change the Shin Megami Tensei name to Revelations. As far as I'm aware, there are only 2 games released under that name: Revelations Persona and Revelations the Demon Slayer on Game Boy. The weirdest thing is, like, you'd find it a little more understand. You'd probably think like, it would make more sense if Persona was localized by a different company, but it wasn't. It was localized by Atlus, and they decided we need to change everything. We need to make all the main characters white instead of Japanese, make one of the characters black to suggest some diversity, and completely rework the main character. Thankfully, they dropped that with the release of Persona 2 Eternal Punishment in the West. Like, this is a fan translation of Persona 2 Innocent Sin, which is the first half of the duology. This is the actual official release of Persona 2 Eternal Punishment in the West. Research and Development 1, you might recognize that logo. At least that logo didn't require a loading screen, though. See, with this, they're not trying to hide that it's Japanese, which is good. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. The only version of Persona 2 that's ever been released in the West. The only version of Eternal Punishment that's ever been released in the West. Atlus should just, like, put Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment together. And release them both, like the remakes, release them in English on a current system. That'd be a good idea. Well, that's probably one of the reasons, though I doubt it was the entire reason. The funniest thing about that, Chanson, is that sounds like a shitpost, but you're entirely right. Chances are part of the reason why Innocent Sin didn't get localized until the remake is because of Hitler. Innocent Sin is well worth playing. Seriously, if you're into RPGs, well worth taking a look at Persona 2 Innocent Sin. But with that, we're going to have to call it. I want to thank everybody who's joined me for the afternoon stream today. Big special thank you to everybody who joined the chat. Ninja, Chansum, Bane. There was somebody earlier on who popped in for Tomb Raider. I don't remember the name. But I really appreciate that. Alright, we'll be back later with... we're gonna aim to finish Arkham City today. Right, we'll be back later with Arkham City. I hope you guys can tune in and enjoy that. But with that, who's currently streaming? Yeah, that's not bad. Crag is currently streaming Tales of Zillia. So there's a shout out if you want to keep stuff going. Crag's a cool dude, and he's just started Tales of Zillia today. But with that, we'll be back later to finish Arkham City. And in the meantime, I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you so much for keeping me company, guys. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day, and hopefully we'll catch you later. I have Among Us on PC if you guys want to play that sometime. Take care, guys. Catch you next time.